We are back, still undefeated, and of course, still undisputed. It's the mighty, the almighty RSC, the Ringside Club. And as per usual, survey time. Now check this out. This week, we have Full Gear. It's coming out the pay-per-view from All Elite Wrestling, and we have a main event that features my man Jon Moxley defending his championship against young MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. So fellas, survey question to go around the ring is, who walks out of Full Gear, the champ, and do we have a clean finish or nah? I'm gonna say MJF with shenanigans.
I will say MJF as well with shenanigans as well.
That's 3 votes.
I don't have my belt anymore.
Hard times, baby.
I'm going to just throw it out there. Moxley.
Listen, we're gonna drop the GoFundMe for Chad at the end of the. You could donate all support. The guy's hurting. All right. He needs to finish his prediction though. Hold on. What is it? Moxley and what? Clean or dirty?
Moxley and clean.
Woo. Gotta go the other way. Of course, you already know who this is. Yo, the drop ain't work.
Peace to the gods, the Ringside Club pod. My name is A.O. Say you're the Ronadon. Blame Boogie while you at it, blame Chad Law. Kayfabe is dead, break the fourth wall. Whatever style, whether it's lucha or strong style. Come through the venue, fly, burn the bar down. Back to the pad, chop it up for the par. Ringside Club, intro to the squad as the show starts.
Peace to the gods, peace to the earths. You are tuned in to what shall definitely be a classic episode. We are the Ringside Club, the undefeated Quattros champions, the best four-man booth in this game, the pro wrestling media thing. Of course, you know, everything you need to know is at theringsideclub.com. But if for whatever reason you don't know, you can check us out across all social media, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Make sure you follow. And, of course, subscribe. You catch the visuals over on YouTube. You got the audio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, and pretty much everywhere else podcasts are available at no charge. But that's only for a limited time because we're building this up. And sooner or later, going to ask you to pay that 5, pay that 10, pay that whatever we happen to, line it up to. We got these nice T-shirts. I'm in grayscale today, but of course we got every possible color you could imagine and try to match with whatever you're trying to match with. Got the tees, got the hoodies. Hit theringsideclub.com. As far as I go, my name is AO. You can find me everywhere at DJ AO Baker. Yeah, heard. Let's pass it to the guy around the dime. What's good, baby?
Hey, who are you? Let me introduce you to the other Don. Don.
And who am I? I am Ron the Don, your Cape Crusader, and you can catch me at Ron Don PMF on all social media platforms. You see the coffee in the background, you see the hats, and don't forget we are on Discord right now. So if you want to come and chop it up with us, join. I'll send the link out later, or I'll send it out tomorrow once again. And let me kick it over to the guy on my left.
To the new champ.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this contest.
I don't know if you heard that, but I sure did. It's Blame Boogie, everybody's favorite scapegoat. The new Around the Rings, Ringside Club predictions champion, the big belt, as we call it here in the ringside world. The guy above me, he seems to have gone off screen, but his belt, if it's even a belt,
as you were saying, my friend.
This guy brought out what's Jericho's bat's name?
Yo,
I forgot, but he brought him
I
out.
was about to say Freddie. It definitely ain't Freddie, but you know.
It ain't Freddie, but it would be something like that. But all right, look, there's
Zed is
obviously
dead.
weapons on set, so I'm just gonna kick it over to Chad. He's got something to say. Let's let him get it off his chest. It might be therapeutic.
Live, fresh off British Airways.
Jesus,
What it do?
From the land of fish and chips. What's good?
oh my God, the bloke.
It is
himself.
your-
Bloke himself.
It is your Ringside Club TV champion, Young Godiva, CHADLAW. I am here in the flesh. RSC fellas, how we feeling? We feeling good?
Absolutely.
You ready to have a hell of a piss fest tonight with this show, huh?
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Hey,
It's gonna be a jolly good time, fellas.
Might be, man.
This guy's
Ain't
all
it?
pip.
Ain't it?
and it. Hey, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling good though. Don't worry, full gear this Saturday. I will be getting my belt back.
Hey,
Yo, I respect the confidence. I respect the confidence.
I am all
Yo, when are
in.
we getting that TV title defense though? Like what episode? What are we doing? What are we doing?
isn't that like the 24/7 title? That shit should be up for grabs
should
right
be.
now.
It should be a
Isn't
call.
Zawa like
Hey,
on his
hey,
way here?
Hey,
It should be a call out.
You know what?
Word.
I'll take the call out. Whenever you feel like taking the belt from me, is when I'll defend the belt, the TV
like this.
title.
I like
You
this.
know,
Okay.
that's how we
Good
run the
job.
RSC TV title rules. You know what I'm saying? TV champ will defend when he's called out. Otherwise, I'm just gonna be the
Yo,
TV
you know
champion.
what? You know how I know you're gonna like be the forever TV champ? Because you don't watch live. So I could call you out and you be like, yo, I don't even know what the matches is, bro.
Oh my God.
I see the vision, yo.
I see the strategy, man.
Yo, come on, man. I
see
be
the
here.
vision.
I be tapped in. When I catch it, I be Lord takes, man. Hit the Ringside Club website, man. You're gonna get it. You know what I mean? But yeah,
Phenomenal.
Saturday double champ. You know what I mean? I'm excited. It's gonna be a really good show. Between Full Gear, Survivor Series next week, Impact, Overdrive.
Right.
It's GCW. Everybody's doing a show. We've got NWA Hard Times that we've got to laugh at and recap. There's a lot happening that's going
I
on.
think
and
Andy Kaufman's fighting this weekend for Jerry
You know,
Lawler's
it's-
promotion or something. I don't know. Something crazy going on.
it's wild in the wrestling season. So, let's not even
Lot
hold
going on.
y'all up, man. All of our subscribers, make sure y'all like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend about the Ringside Club, the almighty RSC. We here live and direct for y'all. And without further ado, we're going to get this episode cracking, man.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
All right, now, speaking of segues, you named off a nice chunk of wrestling that we're all looking forward to. We got pay-per-views coming up from AEW, from WWE. Survivor Series is a holiday tradition. And then you also mentioned NWA. This past weekend, we had, it was NWA Hard Times, and it is Hard Times indeed. Tyrus is the brand new NWA World's Heavyweight Champion, which is, I can't think of this. My topic almost was, and I just didn't have time to go and look somebody up. But my topic almost was like, when is the last time there's been a world champion this bad? You know what I'm saying? Like, who are arguably worse
I'm
champions? than
fairly
Tyrus?
certain that I'm more physically fit than him, and the only physical activity I do is go up and down my stairs daily. So I don't really know what we're doing here, but God bless. I'm gonna mute myself again.
I'm gonna say, yo, you're
dude.
muted, Chad. There you go.
You did that, Chad.
I was gonna say, when we get to our animation levels, we need like those little skits clipped of like Boogie in a singlet walking up and down the stairs. Like, yo, title belt. Like, yo, this is hard. I can't imagine. I'm tired. Like, just how like JBP be doing they shit. Like, yo, when we get to that point, we're gonna be hysterical with our shit. I really seen it, yo.
Yeah, so it's hard times over in the NWA. So Nick Aldis, who's kind of been holding it down over there in the NWA, been the guy
What a
over there.
name.
Rough. It should be rough times. End of times, bro. End of times is probably more apropos. Nick Aldis has been with the NWA since 2017, and that's also the year that Billy Corgan bought the NWA, 2017. He's a two-time NWA World's Champ. He won his first in 2017, won the second in 2018, and he's pretty much been the guy. But he had this statement, and I quote, "I hope now you see why it was important to me to let you know that I had given my notice to the NWA before this pay-per-view. What was once a promising endeavor that I turned down bigger opportunities to take the lead on has become the most toxic brand in pro wrestling. Thank you for all the support." That's rough. So my two-part question is this. Number one, where do you see and where do you think a good fit for Nick Aldis is going to be now that he's a free agent? What's going to be the move? What federation picks him up? Does he chill as an independent wrestler for a little bit? Does he hit NXT, WWE, AEW, somewhere else? Impact. He was Magnus when he was with Impact. So that's where do we see Nick Aldis going forward? Where's a good fit? And then number two, where is NWA right now in the hierarchy, the conversation of pro wrestling promotions? I'm gonna, and I look, Chad's face is my answer. They're not in the conversation. And my biggest point there is remembering back to when they first had that YouTube show. It was like the studio, the NWA Power studio show. It was dope. It was one of those shows like it was nice. It was refreshing. You had probably about 100 people in the studio tops, but just the way that they produced it, it was fun to look at. How they fall. There was so much buzz around that. Like I remember buying a pay-per-view on Fight. Like when I think one of the Mortons and the Rock and Roll Express against the Briscoes. You know what I'm saying? Like there was some really, really good matches, some good, and it had promise. And I think Tyrus, he's on Fox fucking News, bro. So he's definitely not the guy that you want representing your company. You just had a bunch of controversy and people talking about Billy Corgan's comments about there not being enough female talent or women talent to be able to headline or do another all-women show, which is bullshit. So it seems like this is probably like the downturn and the end point. We're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, or the light isn't at the end of the tunnel for NWA. So that's that part. And as far as Nick Aldis is concerned, I really would like to see him in WWE. Still under the Nick Aldis character. I think they could definitely, like he's one of those guys, his moveset doesn't need to be crazy. He's like a throwback. You know what I'm saying? I think the English gimmick would be really, really interesting now in 2022, 23. They can have a lot of fun with that. But Nick Aldis in NXT and then, reunite with a couple of the guys from the old Impact days, old TNA days. So yeah, NWA is dead. Nick Aldis over to WWE. Ron, what you got?
Well, first, before I get into that, yeah, you can absolutely have another pay-per-view with a women at headline, because the last one was fucking fire. Now, as far as Nick Aldis, I'm not gonna lie, I was never like the biggest Nick Aldis fan in the world, but I know he was like the guy in NWA. As far as where he goes next, I can probably say WWE or AEW, but that the roster's already overpacked as it is.
Tony got to chill. Tony has to chill.
Yeah, I'm gonna get into that when I get to my segment, but I can't see him doing independent. I see him just signing straight to another company, because does he have a non-compete clause or anything like that? Because I'm not sure.
Yo, Billy Corgan ain't writing no non-compete in that shit.
Okay.
Like, Sam, I'll be looking at Billy Corgan like, dude, I make more than you, and you run this company. Come on,
dead ass.
Get out of here.
Word. So yeah, I can't see him going anything. I could see him WWE or AEW. And as far as NWA, I don't even remember the last time I looked at NWA, to be honest. And when I did, it really needed to be revamped. I know they try to keep the old school theme going on. And I think the last champion I saw was, what was it, Murdoch or something like that?
Yeah, that's who Tyrus
Trevor Murdoch.
Who lost the title.
Tyrus just beat Trevor Murdoch.
Wow. Okay, so
Tyrus is the champ.
Yo, that's wild, man. So that was the last time I watched NWA was when Trevor Murdoch won the title.
Is the world champ.
The Funk the Doctor. Yeah, it's fucking crazy, dude. So like they just need to like just revamp, man, and get with the times. They can still keep like
Fam,
the
you had
old
Matt
school thing.
Cardona.
Right there.
Matt Cardona
He was
was
in the
right there.
match. Right there.
It's right
Yeah,
there.
you could have kept him and keep doing something with him, but apparently not. So listen, they just need to
Boo.
revamp. They just need to revamp some things, and hopefully they could get me looking again. That's my answer right there. What you got?
Or, I mean, I listened to Billy Corgan say something about this, so I kind of heard his perspective a little bit. Some of it made sense. Some of it was just like, all right, that doesn't make sense. It's whatever. But what his biggest thing was, I guess, from what he mentioned was he took a loss financially on the first one, even though it like went viral or whatever. He didn't make viral money off of it. He didn't like make a whole bunch of bread. I guess he took a loss on it. So, in order for him to do it again, it would have to make sense. And he was saying that there's not any top talent or any over talent that's available because they're already all signed up with AEW. He doesn't have a working relationship with them. He doesn't have a relationship with Vince at all, or now Triple H. So there was no like women for him to get for another women's pay-per-view type thing or whatever. So it wasn't that he didn't necessarily want to do it or that it didn't draw, but he lost money on the first one, so there's no way he's going to make money with no talent available on the second one. That's what I heard him say. I'm not
Because it
shooting
would
him
just be
bail,
the
but
same
that's
card.
yeah, but that's just what I heard him say, right? In terms of that.
It'd just
Again,
be
you
the
guys
same
just
card.
mentioned Matt Cardona. The NWA should have just been like the MCA. Like you should have definitely just given the belt to Matt Cardona. The guy was on fire for the longest time. He finds a way to keep himself relevant, but there's not a lot of times that people really catch fire like that. So I feel like when someone's really on fire, you gotta pay attention to that and really run
And
with
not
it.
for nothing, he only
Mhm.
lost the belt, I believe, because of that injury.
Word.
Exactly.
Having fucking Tucker Carlson as your world champion right now is not a good look.
Yo,
You know what
Tucker
I mean? Like
Carlson is sick.
that's really all it is. It's like you literally have fucking Tucker Carlson as your champion right now. Like I don't know. It's just it is what it is, yo. I don't think anyone's really paying attention to the NWA. And to be really real with you, I'm so honest that I think the best thing that happened to the NWA was my cousin being an announcer. Like I don't really know. Like that's really it. Like fuck it. You know what I mean? Shouts out to Velvet Sky.
Word.
Word. No doubt.
Big Velv.
Word. What you got, Chad?
I will say, as far as Nick Aldis, the national treasure, and as someone who has been to multiple NWA tapings in Georgia, this guy's a treat, man. I love seeing this guy wrestle live. He's a great personality live, very personable, and NWA atmosphere absolutely would not cater to, maybe I'll say, our urban demographic. Like I will say that. So I guess let me sidetrack from Nick Aldis and I'll go to the NWA topic because I've seen them live at the GPV studios and I see how things are running, how things are going, and where they're at now from where they used to be, because they had a lot of talent. Like they had a lot of people that stopped through the NWA. Wade Barrett, Eli Drake, you know what I'm saying, Matt Taven. Like there's so many people that have come and gone in the NWA it's
Ricky Starks was launched, really.
the Ricky Starks
That's
came
the
out of,
first
and
place I
that's
saw
where I
Ricky
was
Starks.
first seeing, you know, so between that and then cutting the free YouTube shows and going behind the paywall, I feel like with Tyrus being the NWA champion now and him being, you know, on Fox already having a show, I see this guy so many times. I would see him at the gym, like he's literally up there with the TV title, like being the NWA TV champion with the fitted on and all that talking and stuff. Maybe, just maybe, the NWA is catering to their audience. What about that? What if Billy Corgan is just doing what he wants to do for his crew and his people and the NWA audience? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the way I'm looking at it. It's like we all are laughing to death at Tyrus being champion, but it's like Jinder Mahal was champion, and that served a purpose for the Indian fans. So it's like he clearly has a plan behind this, and it's got to be something that is in regards
I
to
would
Fox
think,
News.
yeah, I would think
being-
they have a lot of
and
red
this.
red state fans on that side of things. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm
That's a
saying.
fair argument.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like
Go
he's
where the
like,
money's
hey,
at. I respect it.
I'm going where the money is. So it's like you've got Smashing Pumpkins, you've got Tyrus and Fox News. I'm thinking they only do shows in New Orleans, Kentucky, Missouri, Ohio, red states, and red states. So it's like
Atlanta or Georgia now, apparently.
Atlanta,
Fucking
Georgia.
A.
So it's like, when have we seen the NWA in New York? When do they go to Cali? When do they go to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like things like that all
Yeah, true.
just
Don't
It all
recollect.
just makes sense. Like they're catering to their audience, and that's fine. It's just
Chad
they
just made a
wanted this
good point.
exposure. They're getting their exposure because of this Tyrus situation. They knew we would be making topics about it. I mean, shit. I don't think any other show is probably gonna make a topic about it besides RSC. I'm gonna keep it a buck. We probably gonna be one of the only few that actually even give this like 20 minutes of a joke, of a laugh, of a breakdown, all that. But outside of Twitter and the hysteria, it's like that's the reaction they wanted, and they're getting it. So Billy Corgan he's got something up his sleeve for the NWA. It's not enjoyable for us, but there's gonna be quite a few people that are like, yo, God dang nabbit, that NWA.
Yeah, they're gonna say that's for me.
Word.
Love me, that Trevor Murdoch. Love
That's
me
fair.
some of that.
That's an argument I didn't even I ain't consider, but that it makes sense if that's what he thought. If for whatever reason that wasn't part of the thought process or the booking process, and he really thinks Tyrus is gonna help the NWA put some asses in seats, my man.
Yeah, word.
Who is going to take the title off Tyrus is going to be the 2023 chase for NWA. They need that. It's comedy, but it's going to be what makes people go, so who's gonna beat this guy?
Who's gonna beat him?
Who's gonna
I got
beat this doofy guy?
Super babyface.
I
Whoever
got it.
does beat him is a babyface and made.
It's
now.
gonna be Billy Corgan himself.
Holy smokes.
Who?
Vince McMahon move? Vince McMahon
Yep.
ECW move?
Corgan's
Yeah,
coming out,
man.
and that's it.
So
My
let me
man,
wrap it
Billy
up.
McMahon.
I'll wrap it up. I'll wrap it up with the Nick Aldis topic, and I'll finish up from there. Where I see Nick Aldis going, I would love to see him in the WWE. I think him in the WWE would be amazing. Even NXT. I think he's beyond NXT, but NXT is so dry right now with competition for Braun Breaker that they're forcing Von Wagner on us. And I just feel like, although Nick
Von
Aldis
Wagner.
is above NXT, I think he would draw so many eyes to NXT just because he could make it his own and he'd have a blast and he'd be the champion and he'd probably be the longest reigning champion outside of Braun Breaker at this point, or Adam Cole if he won the title. And only be on the main roster. Him, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, the work styles, the character, like, come on, man, it writes itself. Like, he would be amazing. Him and Cody feuding in
about to say
2023.
Run him
At
up against Cody again.
SummerSlam, Cody and Nick Aldis in the
Didn't
WWE?
Cody and Nick Aldis had the match,
Took
in
the NWA title back and
Yep.
forth. Yes, they traded the title. So it's like Nick Aldis would be amazing in WWE, truthfully. Under the Triple H regime,
Wild
outstanding.
card. Tony Khan brings him in at Full Gear. He's the next person to challenge Orange Cassidy for the Mid-Atlantic Championship.
And that is why I said why I would like for him to go to WWE. What I think will happen is he'll stop in Impact for a while. Mickey James is already there. Josh Alexander is just he's fighting everyone, and everyone is a blast from the past from Impact.
That
from
would
Frankie
be
Kazarian,
a huge pickup
Bully
for
Ray.
Impact. Huge.
I think if I got to put my money on something,
need that.
I think he's going to chill at Impact because Mickey's already there. She's having her last run. Josh Alexander is literally defending the world title against all former world champions of Impact, or haven't been, or even legends. The Machine Guns, the Frank Kazarians, Bully Ray's in line next. Nick Aldis kind of seems like he could slither in there and be at Bound for Glory on some like, yo, I'm taking the title from you. I'm back in Impact now. And it's like, oh, shit. This actually might draw some eyes to Impact.
Or Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor needs a flagship.
Nah, he got to stay away from Tony Khan, man. Come on. We did last week's show, man. It's 50-something people on that.
Down.
It's 50-something people on Ring of Honor.
I'm just shooting Tony's money bail. That's all. It's always a possibility.
Too many people. It's way too many people on ROH show. I ran down that roster last week. It's like 60 heads, bro. Nick Aldis don't need to be there. Nah, you don't need that. We don't need that right now. Tony Khan got to stay away from Nick Aldis. But, hey, yo, you right, though. You definitely, or Bug, whoever said he was going to bring him in at Full Gear, like, I feel like that, unfortunately, could be, unfortunately.
Yuck. I hope not. But yeah, that's the NWA. That's Nick Aldis. Time will tell. We'll see what's happening.
This is our first time covering NWA, by the way.
It is.
I think it is. Yeah.
We gave him a good amount of time.
Because here's the thing: like a couple of years ago, I was watching. Like they put that show out weekly, on
We
YouTube.
were watching Power.
I was
We
watching
was
the
talking
movie.
about it.
Yeah.
We was talking about watching Power. That's when I was going to the tapings. Like they was.
And you said,
that was
like, when
before
you-
the paywall.
When you mentioned the paywall, I was like, yo, they had that. I think it was like a fight subscription or whatever. It's like you got to buy, and once they did that, and I don't know what the money was looking like, if the YouTube thing just wasn't working out for whatever was happening. I'm not there, so I don't know. But as far as conversation was concerned, there were people talking about the NWA positively because it looked different. It was a nice presentation. It was a quick, less than an hour show.
NWA
You know?
Power at 6:05 every Tuesday. They had a
Exactly.
niche. They had a niche. You
Once
knew where
they
you
put
could
it
find
behind
them.
a paywall, it's like, why would you put what your TV show or your YouTube show, in their case, is supposed to be the commercial to get people to then buy something else behind a paywall? You can't put the commercial behind a paywall. You know what I mean? So they messed up. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Time will tell. Rhonda Don, what you got?
Yes, sir. So, yo, Chad, you had the perfect segue because that's exactly what I was going to get into. I was just going to get into this. I know it's like beating a dead horse, but just wanted to get into like what I think should happen after Full Gear 2022. Just like my suggestions, and I hope like the people hear us. You know what I'm saying? Like, so my thing is, there's too much good talent signed to not give them decent time and a solid storyline, meaning they need to cut this roster. So I found out how many people are on the AEW roster. So according to Daily DDT, as of late October, there are 142 signed wrestlers to AEW. And that doesn't include ROH. I have no idea how many people are on ROH, and it's probably, like what you said, Chad, like 50 or 60 people on ROH, something like that.
That's just the men. That's just the men that had 60 on ROH. I didn't even include all the women and the announcers on ROH. That was just the men that clocked in at 60 on ROH's side.
Let me just say that's
almost
egregious.
200 and something. That's 200 and something wrestlers altogether.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know. Let's say conservatively, there's going to be people that do bounce back and forth between a roster.
Oh, okay.
So let's
let's
conservatively just say
You're right.
there's somewhere between like 150 to 175
You're
people
right.
that are signed to AEW.
Because Jericho
ROH.
and all of them are on that ROH roster too. So yeah, you're right.
What was the number, Ron? 148?
142 wrestlers signed to AEW.
Divided by
Plus
3
60.
hours of television.
3 hours of television.
3 hours of television.
Plus the other 60,
Yep. The other 60 ROH.
which would include the women.
Which
whatever.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's wild. So, yeah, but first thing is like they need to cut down on the roster. And then I was thinking about this earlier. We definitely criticized the WWE during the pandemic for cutting a good amount of the wrestlers. And now I believe they need to sign a few more people back to WWE, but because they have the few wrestlers they have now, they now get time on TV and don't have an overloaded roster like AEW. And you're only seeing certain talent on TV like 2 to 3 times a month on AEW. Like I was looking at what was it? I think Rampage, and I saw Lee Johnson on there. I'm like, I thought Lee Johnson was gone.
Yo, fellas, by the way, this past Rampage was actually pretty solid.
Hey, it wasn't terrible.
Pretty solid, actually. I watched the whole show and I was actually enjoying it. So
Leave it to me to
would
buy
give them that.
tickets. Leave it to me to buy tickets to a Dynamite that doesn't have Rampage live. So,
This guy's going home early.
At least I'm going home before 11. My bad, Ron.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good. But has Lee Johnson been on the YouTube shows? Because I have not seen Lee Johnson.
Yes, he has been on Dark Elevation. He just got engaged to someone that's a part of the AEW roster as well. He just joined the Nightmare Factory, so now he's kind of getting a jobber push. One of those.
Yeah.
Isn't he with Sky Blue?
Yes, that's who he's with. That's who he's engaged to. So,
but see, that's my point. Right. Well, salute to him. But you see, I haven't seen Lee Johnson in God knows how long, and he's not on regular television. And I've said this before, like I don't have time to go and look at the Dark Elevation and all that. So he's getting like minimal. To me, he's getting minimal TV time. I haven't seen him on TV since God knows how long. So my next suggestion is storylines. With a decent amount of wrestlers on TV every week with an overloaded roster, you have a good chance of a more long-term storytelling. Because we have to remember AEW only has 3 to 4 pay-per-views a year compared to like WWE or Impact, where they have like 7, 8 plus pay-per-views a year. So it's like, cut down on the roster and, extend some of these storylines, you know what I'm saying? And my last and my final thing is, you know, finally we talked about this last week, like, yo, please put ROH on its own now. You know what I'm saying? Because if Tony Khan doesn't cut some of these wrestlers, let ROH be on its own and have some of the ROH originals go back and send some AEW guys over there. Just spread the roster out. You know what I'm saying? Because it's kind of crazy because it's too much of an overloaded roster, and I feel like AEW can go longer than that. So, you guys have any other suggestions of what they should do after Full Gear? Because that's what I feel they should do. And I know we've talked about this at length before, but
I mean, it's tough to say because like we're also talking about contracts that are in place, so I'm not sure how much flexibility they have as far as what's lined up. Um, let's not forget we got Final Battle coming up in December. So Ring of Honor Final Battle, that's always been like their end of the year. Everything kind of wraps up. It's going to be interesting to see. And then what we also have like interaction, for instance, between like Samoa Joe, who's the current TV champ, and Wardlow, who's a TNT champ. I don't know. I'm not going to read too much into that and say that they're going to try to combine titles or anything like that. But who knows? Maybe they're figuring out plans on where people are going to be after Final Battle, or what the matches are going to be at Final Battle. I have a suspicion that when we get to Final Battle, there will be some sort of an announcement that's made that there is something that we can look forward to, as far as here's a date where ROH has their weekly thing that you can tune in. Other than that, like storyline wise, is really it just makes sense to look at the people that you've put so much time and energy into building and get back to focusing on just good storytelling.
Yeah,
We also
absolutely.
we can't take out of account the fact that they had a hell of a year as far as injuries were concerned, and then the whole debacle after All Out at the press conference. Those two big bullet points, I'm sure, threw a bunch of their plans and writing just into flux. You had Kenny Omega that was out for so long, finally comes back. Trios titles are a thing. Immediately that goes to the side. You had CM Punk, who was in the program with MJF, and that was supposed to be this whole thing, and then All Out happens. That goes to the side. MJF, I'm pretty sure, wasn't already supposed to be going into the babyface territory, but this is how they writing his character arc right now. So I kind of cut them a little bit of bait. Like we got jokes. There's way too much shit going on, and that is a fact. But also taking into account, I'm sure there was a bunch of things that were written out. Tony likes to plan a lot of shit long term, and you can't plan for so many of your major. Adam Cole still isn't back. Like he's still out
Insane.
from a
Yeah.
concussion.
He
You know what I'm
might
saying?
not come back. He might
He
not be
might not
back.
come back. So there's so many different variables that the writing can't take into account for. And then plus, yeah, there's way too many people signed. Again, we're talking about 150 or so people that are signed for 3 hours of TV. It ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? You got 5 hours worth of TV between Raw and SmackDown, and we were talking a couple of years ago that they had too many people signed and it wasn't working. So there's 2 hours less of TV. You know what I'm saying? And no network. It's just YouTube. So, but yeah, like it's hard to tell what they're gonna do and where it's gonna go. But at the end of the day, I still have faith in the storytelling that goes into AEW and the thought that goes into the shit. It's just that right now it's in flux because he's trying to do too many things and serve too many masses at the same time. But I don't know. I'll end on this. Final Battle is going to be pivotal. We'll see. Like I think there's going to be some good storylines and some good news going into and coming out of Final Battle.
Word.
Sure.
Well, what you got?
I got a couple of different takes on this. We talk so often and so candidly in our chat that I have to remember that we are publicly speaking right now. So some things that I probably would normally say in the chat, even though, we know we have good intentions, it could be perceived very, very differently in the public view. So I am going to say, however, that I can very easily browse through this AEW active roster, and I guarantee you that I could pick 5 names at random as I'm scrolling through my screen and just like flicking through their roster. I could pick names at random, and you're not going to know who these people are. I don't care how big
give me
of
5
wrestling
of them.
fans we are. All right,
Give me
let me
5
give
of
you
them.
one. Let me give you one.
I'll tell you their AEW record.
Oh no.
Yo, I
All
would
right,
love to hear
hold
that.
on. I'm gonna pick a good one. Peter Avalon.
He's still signed to the
Yo, who?
Peter Avalon's still there.
The librarian.
The
All right.
librarian.
That's just
Why?
one.
Yeah, Avalon.
That's
I
one.
bet I already know. I feel like I know who you're gonna say next. You're gonna say Nick Nemeth or
No. I know
Ryan
who that
Nemeth.
is.
You're
Ryan
gonna say
Nemeth.
Ryan Nemeth next.
AQA.
She is from Booker T's wrestling school. She's
But you see, like, she's dope. She has potential. What is she doing?
How about Emi Sakura?
come on. Emi Sakura is always a part of those Joshi crews that are always getting mentioned whenever they need a Joshi wrestler to come up. It's Emi Sakura, Hikaru Shida, Rio, and yeah, you know, those other ones.
All right. The point is this: we have people like Kip Sabian. Might be a
He is
great
still
guy,
there.
still here. We have people like Miro sitting the bench. We have people like, I don't know, Andrade
Aleister
just
Black.
missing in action. We have people like Aleister Black who should have been the TNT champion a long time ago, holding that thing down and defending the shit out of it for a real long time. We got a lot of stuff going on. But if we're going to talk about, if I'm going to spin Ron's question a little bit, he asked what AEW should do. Is that what he was asking? What we think AEW should do moving forward?
Yeah,
right,
any suggestions?
I'm gonna fantasy book it. I'm just gonna say what it is. You got a fucking multi-billionaire running the company, right? So I'm rolling 4, 5, 6 right now, bro. And I'm saying if you could get Punk, the Bucks, Hangman, and Colt Cabana and all these dudes to actually do business, and you put some money behind it, no matter what, you tell the locker room, look, this is what's happening. We're putting this shit together. We're gonna make some money off this thing. One final run, fucking whatever. We're gonna end it at this, and that just is what it is. What it is. If you got that, Tony Khan would make not just money, but would make crazy history if he did some shit like that. Now I don't know if it's ever possible. I know it sounds ridiculous. That's why I'm saying it's fantasy booking, because I know there's legal things involved. But it's been real quiet ever since there was leaks of information and all this other shit for a while. Maybe that's by design, maybe it's by whatever. The fan in me, if I'm fantasy booking this, is, let's just say it's possible that this could be fixed, repaired, and we're just gonna move forward with something, right? Because it's clear that the Bucks are back, right? The Bucks and Kenny are coming back. They're running these promos for a reason. But what if that person behind the computer that's been clicking around and editing shit was CM Punk? And somehow we see that at the pay-per-view. To me, that would be dope as hell, right? Now, if that was the situation, that would be cool as shit. I would like that, because as Chad said before, Punk was kind of feeling like Wolverine when he came out the fucking, the cabin, and he looked all fucking disheveled and shit. He didn't he looked like he was eating his Wheaties too much. You know what I mean? So we want to see a rejuvenated something. So a Punk heel turn right now is what we need. Nobody really likes him. The locker room said to not like him. It would just make fucking sense, right? If he comes back, the Bucks are out there, Kenny's out there, then all of a sudden Punk's music hits and fucking these guys are just fucking going at it, sparring verbally, or they start fighting each other. I think that would be cool, man. So that's what I'm saying for that. I think it would be dope. If I'm being realistic with it, what I think should happen, like I said, I never want to see anybody get fired. I know we joke in the chat, like I said, and we say how we really feel in there. But there's a lot of people right now that Tony Khan, as much as people talk shit about Tony Khan and he's not experienced and stuff like that, I do think his benevolence and good-heartedness is the reason why a lot of people are currently being paid to do absolutely nothing. I really do believe that. I don't feel like they're just there because he knows better than us or he's booking some grand scheme. I truly feel like there's people there that are making money because he's a good fucking dude, and those people are getting paid to just kind of stick around because he knows they're not going anywhere else, and the good person in him is not going to let it happen. No skin off his back. He's just still making money. His company, from what I can see, is not losing money. So I know that was kind of long-winded. It was kind of wild. It's kind of wacky. People probably won't fucking fuck with what I said, but it's just an idea.
Yeah,
What
let
you got,
me
Chad?
just say, my bad, Chad. Before you say that, maybe just say this. I was like, and not in any way that we want any of these wrestlers to be fired. It's just, to
Word.
me, is that there's so many talented wrestlers on the AEW roster, and a good majority of them are being overlooked. So it's like, yo, I just want to see these good talent displayed on TV, man. You know what I'm saying? So,
I'll just jump in back real quick and I'll comment on
mhm.
that. There's a reason why the menu has appetizers. It has, main courses. And I don't want to relate people to food, but I'm just saying, like, just to be real, like,
I get it.
there's a
I
reason
get
why
it.
they're there. They're priced a certain way. They're presented a certain way. So when you have people like we were saying,
Good
Malachi Black,
point.
mid card and top of the card, fighting for no reason whatsoever, bro, and getting less attention and less meaning than whatever, I would have a mental breakdown too. No bullshit. You know what I mean? So, I would shoot him that bail. So that's it. We have so much more that there's so many different rabbit holes this could go down, but yeah. I think that one thing is true. We all love AEW. We just want to see what's best
Yeah,
for it.
yeah, we obviously do that for the reason that we're talking about it right now. You know what I'm saying? We're still
Right.
looking every week. So, my bad, Chad. Go ahead.
Basically, piggybacking off of what you guys are all saying in my clubhouse lingo. We definitely don't need any more AEW acquisitions. We need, if anything, a little bit more spreading out. I can see some of these people going to WWE, Impact, like, some of that slipped through the cracks, like the Allen Angels, a couple of those guys are able to get off. But for the most part, Tony Khan signed these guys up for 3 to 5 year contracts. Like, they're locked in. They're here. So it's like what he does with them, it's going to be the AEW version of what Vince was doing to all those guys. It's like, hey, I'm just following his playbook. He might not say it, but we're going to see it. It's like, oh, you want to go? Well, too bad, because you're stuck here. You're just not going to be used. So sit in catering and chill out until it's time for me to call you up, buddy. Which is what we've seen with Miro, Aleister Black, many other names that were like, why did you sign this guy? And you got Sammy Guevara main eventing every week, causing him chaos and mischief. And then you got Andrade sitting at home just punching the wall and waiting for a call up to do anything. Like, damn, I wish I could go back to WWE right now. You got Legado del Fantasma about to kill it, and I'm over here on the sidelines watching Roosh get beat up by Bandito, who is signed to a 3-year contract with more dates than the average wrestler. But which is crazy. It's like he just got here. He just got here. And I don't even think Bandito will even see a belt for the next 2 years. So it's like, you got that type of thing where it's like he's bringing in guys and it's like, dude, like I said, I don't want to see any more signings. I hope Nick Aldis doesn't come out at full gear. I don't want to see any more major announcements. It's been fine without it. Let's just keep the homegrown talent where we need to keep it. Just keep building what we've got. And clearly when it's time for AEW and Tony Khan to do releases, that's going to be a noteworthy day. It's going to be a hallelujah type of day for a lot of wrestling companies. They're going to be like, yo, I've been waiting to get this guy. He's coming over here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the thing with Khan, I don't think it's not gonna be like a big release day. He's one of them dudes. I'm gonna honor the contract. You're not gonna get out of it early, but I'm gonna honor the contract. So you're not gonna be released out of nowhere, but you're definitely gonna once your date comes. If I don't have anything for you, I don't have anything for you.
Yeah, and that's just the way the business goes.
Yeah, for sure.
Word, there you go.
Boogie Woogie, what it do?
Clutch that belt for a couple more days, my boy.
Nah, word. Hey man, I don't
Blame Boogie. I'm coming for you, nigga.
Oh shit. Everybody, oh no. Everybody do the Booker T. All right. But nah. All right, my topic this week is pretty easy. I think we've all kind of talked about this before. We're all kind of split decision on this. I feel like everyone feels a different way about Austin Theory or whatever, but we just recently saw Austin Theory cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase on the United States Championship unsuccessfully. We saw him attempt to cash that in on the WWE Champion, Universal, whatever, all those funny titles, the head of the table, Roman Reigns, and be interrupted trying to do that a few times. That was on Vince's watch. This one's not on Vince's watch. A lot of weird shit going around saying, hey, Triple H might be just, getting back at Vince for all whatever Triple H had to endure during the Vince era when, Vince just didn't do shit and kind of sabotaged a lot of Triple H's heavy-handed work and stuff like that. So I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if Triple H is really the vengeful type when it comes to his family. I don't know. I think he's just kind of doing shit. But fact of the matter is, it happened. I don't think we had anything like that before, where someone cashed in a Money in the Bank briefcase for a like heavyweight title.
Never. It's never
I'm
happened
kind of fuzzy about Charlotte Flair cashing in and Rhea Ripley and some weird shit going on back then. I don't know exactly what happened, but I think this is the first time, yeah, like Chad said, that it's ever happened.
He was better off cashing in on Braun Breaker for the NXT title.
Right. Yeah, it would have been better in my opinion. But my topic just to throw around the rings, just everybody throw their sentiments in on what they really think happened. Me personally, I just think that maybe WWE is more of a data-driven product than we thought, and maybe they just threw the car in reverse. I think we've all been, as younger children, whether you're with your parents or somebody else, and they're telling you you're going somewhere, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna turn this car around if you guys don't behave." Maybe the numbers just weren't behaving, and they turned the car around. They went somewhere else. I have no idea. There's really no reason to me that they would have this guy do this, other than there's a bigger plan for the WWE Championship and the Universal Championship, and we just gotta wait and see what that is. But anybody got any other insight? Throw it to AO first.
Even under the Vince regime, I don't think that Austin Theory was going to be a world champion, at least this run around.
Hold on a second.
I don't think
Jinder Mahal won the title.
For sure.
Anything was possible under the Vince McMahon regime.
No, I'm not saying that he wouldn't
for
have
the heaviest curveball and had Roman
I'm
Reigns.
just not saying I don't think it would have been this time around, just because I don't think that's what's lined up for Austin Theory's character. Not saying that, like, he definitely would have. He is going to be a world champion. Let's make no mistake about it. Like, he's one of those guys that people look at, all of the critics and the pundits and a lot of people that look at him and they say he's got this, he's got this, he's got this, he's got this. He checks all these boxes off as far as what you would want. They compare him to Cena, if only in body type and looks. But he's definitely one of them guys. He will be a world champion.
He's got that Baron Corbin go away heat.
Yeah. So
Baron Corbin's not a world champion, and God knows if Baron Corbin was a world champion, we would be on here talking about Baron Corbin like Tyrus. We'd be like, "Yo, they let Baron Corbin be the world champion."
Nah, because like Baron Corbin, see, people are not supposed to like heels. That means he's doing his job. Like when I see Baron Corbin, it's not that I don't want to see him on TV. I don't want to see Tyrus, like whatsoever, because he's just not fucking good.
Baron Corbin cook his ass off though. Baron Corbin definitely cook his ass off.
Steak God. I was about but like Tyrus is actually trash. Baron Corbin can actually, he could work. He's got a nice move set. I don't think that Austin Theory was lined up to cash that in and actually be successful, regardless if it was Vince or Triple H. So it's tough to say. Like, I don't see any reason, as far as what I know, that Triple H has an issue with Austin Theory as to why this would be a punishment or anything like that. I just, This also may have been what Vince wrote for him too. He could be one of those guys, like, I don't know, maybe the story is that this is one of Vince's kids, and now that Vince ain't here anymore, he doesn't really know the right moves to make, so he's trying this, trying that, fail. I don't know, but I think Austin Theory's going to be fine. He's good in the ring. He's got a nice personality to actually hate, and as long as you write him into a good story, there's some mileage right there. But yeah, I'm not sure. I thought it was real interesting though on Monday, where it was an open challenge. So he could have just answered the open challenge and not worried about cashing in the briefcase.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
Why? Like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if that plays into his character being dumb or if that was a flaw as far as the writing was concerned. Because that whole thing, I'm like, all right, that's what we doing. But yeah. I don't know. Austin Theory is going to be fine. I think he's going to job out a little bit. If this happens to play into his character and is like, all right, you got to hit rock bottom before you figure something new out and bring that to the table, maybe that's the direction they're going. He ain't going to be a face anytime soon. I just hope that they don't, like, just don't bury him. Don't bury him to the extent that people don't believe
they're
going
to get sympathy for this guy because of how buried he's about to be and how buried he's been looking. He's going to gain that sympathy. Sympathy,
sure, but I don't think he should ever be a face. Like nothing about him says face. It's like Baron Corbin. You never, ever, ever should root for Baron Corbin. You know what I'm saying? He should be a career heel. You know, so maybe sympathy ain't it, but maybe it's like maybe he finds his mean streak here. You know, grow the beard out a little bit. You know, change the gear up a little bit. Maybe he links up with somebody else who's been around and established. Maybe Randy Orton comes back and takes him under his wing for whatever fucking reason. You know what I'm saying? Prodigy. I used to be in the position that you're in right now, being the guy that's coming up. Everybody expects so much to come from, and I'm failing. So I'm gonna put you under my wing like Triple H did me, and I'm gonna show you the ropes, kid. That could be kind of dope. You know, Randy Orton's one of them guys that, you know, has a nice history of being a monster heel. So that'd be interesting for Austin Theory. But I don't know. I don't know where they go with him, but I just don't think either way, whether Vince was still there or not, I don't think he would have cashed in and been successful.
Cool.
Word. Listen, I looked at it like this. Right now, Roman Reigns is only defending his title on pay-per-views. He's not defending on Raw SmackDowns. And I say it's going to be like this until WrestleMania next year. As far as I looked at that cash in, I looked at it as they're trying to boost the US belt and the IC belt because at first I'm wondering, I thought they can only cash in on the World Championship belts because I thought that's what it was. But since, like I said, Roman is only defending on pay-per-views and it's going to push it out to, I guess, WrestleMania, they're not going to have it cash in on there. So I guess they're going to have, I believe they you try to cash in on the US belt to make it look bigger, to make it look like a big deal. And I looked at it similarly as how they're doing the World Cup now. So when you win the World Cup, you also get a IC belt challenge. So I look at him cashing in as trying to boost these two belts so they can be really big by pause
Good way
by
to put it, though.
by
I see what you
by
mean by that.
Pause.
yeah. Yeah, word. So because I looked at it as weird too. I'm like, why are you cashing on the US belt? But I was like, if he's cashing on the US belt, they're trying to make it more grander than it is
Yeah,
now.
make it
Because that
important.
right, make it really important. Because like I said, Roman's not defending his belt until God knows how long.
I
And
can
then
respect that.
and then he's gonna, he's probably gonna be in the War Games match at Survivor Series. So he's not defending his belt there. So I just looked at it as him trying to make the belts more grander than what it is, just trying to give it a push. But as far as Austin Theory, I think he's gonna be all right. I agree with you. He might not, he wasn't gonna get, a cash in, a successful cash in this time around, and he should never turn turn baby face. He is a really good heel. But he's gonna be all right, man. He's gonna be all right next year. But that's how I see it doing it.
Austin Theory is the biggest dumbass. He's definitely being booked as one of the biggest dumbasses in the world. There's no doubt about this. And, currently, he's going through a hell of a losing streak to the point where man's lost his only means of relevancy in the WWE universe right now. And I think it's really entertaining at the fact that, like, what's he going to do next? Where's he going to go? Is he going to go to NXT? Is he going to just bounce around? Like, is he going to grow the beard, grow his hair, go crazy? You're not going to know what he's going to do next. Like, you're just worried about, like, is Austin Theory going to be like, is he going to just, like, lose his mind? Like, there's a lot of variables that go into what's going to happen next with Austin Theory. But I will say, I'm happy the briefcase is off him. Sucks the briefcase essentially for 2022 was a bust, just a waste of a pay-per-view, a waste of a briefcase outside of Liv Morgan, which was like, that kind of pissed me off because I was like, yo, there was actually, I don't know if we're going to edit this in or whatever the case. Who was in that briefcase match that could have actually won that match? Because I know it wasn't Austin Theory that was supposed to win or could have won or should have won. And this was pre-Vince. No, this was during Vince. Was it during Vince? This was during Vince. I don't know who else was in that match, and we'll probably pull up the stats after the fact, but there were way more people that was like, I was like, yo, this guy's going to win. Because I don't think any of us saw Austin Theory even winning. All of us were just like, huh? No,
Yeah,
he
he
wasn't even in
seemed
the
like
match.
he was supposed to be in the match, but not win the match. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Wait, was he even
ain't seen-
supposed to be in the match? Because I don't remember him even being announced in the match until
Not until the last minute. He wasn't announced till the last minute, I believe.
there we go. And that was a who move? Vince McMahon.
Vince move, yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
So you figure like that would have, if there was none of that, there wouldn't have been Austin Theory being in the match and winning. So I think this coming year, They're going to right their wrongs, and whoever wins the briefcase this coming 2022 is going to 2023 is going to cash in rather soon. I don't think they're going to wait, which is going to be bad for whoever defeats Roman. I think the winner of this year's Money in the Bank is going to be a problem for whoever defeats Roman.
So play it out. So I think I'm pretty certain.
I couldn't even tell you who would probably win the Money in the Bank this year because they're adding so many new pieces, and people are like Sheamus could win Money in the Bank this year, and I don't think any of us would even be able to be like, fuck it, he deserves it.
It's tough to say because if they're going for this Roman Rock thing at Mania, and again, this is still speculation until it's announced, right? Mm-hmm. But then we have the Royal Rumble, where the winner of that is supposed to have his main event at WrestleMania against the champ, and Roman has both titles. How does that work? And unless Rock is in the Rumble, which ain't happening.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's
unless they do like a double winner or whatever it is, they fall out of the ring at the same time and they choose either belt or split it or whatever it could be.
Or like Roman has 2 matches.
Right.
Maybe
possibly.
Roman has 2 matches.
Roman having 2 matches. You know, I didn't even think about that. I really didn't think.
Roman could have 2 matches in Mania.
Because that title has to
defend the title.
And the winner of the Royal Rumble has to get a title shot at WrestleMania. So
at Mania. Maybe that's what happens. Like if they got the Rock match or whatever, maybe it's like Roman in the opening match on night 1, night 1 main event, and then Roman's gonna be the night 1 and night 2 main event. That's what it is. Roman has to defend the title, whichever one is picked from the Rumble winner on night 1, and he's against the Rock on night 2, and he's going to beat the Rock, so he's still going to close out the weekend on
right, because you'll lose the title on night 1 and then bounce back on night 2 by defeating the Rock.
Night 1, he's going to fight me and Tyrus in a handicap match.
And that's if you even get the Rock. There's still no telling if you get that Rock match. There's no telling.
Yeah, there's no telling. Like again, that's speculation until
you could just get the Royal Rumble win, which that in itself is going to be a rabbit hole. That's
all right, stop fucking laughing. Who was still laughing back there? You heard that? That shit just kept going. Those laughs were forever.
I know. I hit the button a little bit.
Yeah, I think this is going to be really interesting how this goes with this Money in the Bank 2023. Austin Theory, I think, is going to be cooked. He's going to be on the sidelines for a while. I don't see much happening on his end. Clearly, Triple H don't see too much happening on his end either. That's why he's fizzled him out the way he has on his losing streak / losing the briefcase. If anything,
just put him under somebody's wing, man. Put him under Randy Orton or another established heel that's not JBL, and have him come up that way. I don't want to see JBL anymore, bro.
He's here.
That's 2 votes.
Hey, my boy.
I still wanted to see JBL's Taylor, man.
Baron Corbin is going through a hell of a gimmick change right now. This is his annual gimmick change season, so it's like, hey, JBL's here to stay for a while until the impending, implosion. He's like, yo, you just keep losing and you don't win anything. I'm sick of managing this guy.
Yikes. Word up.
That's that.
Bases loaded. Clear us out, guy.
All right, fellas. I have been doing some studying, and I feel like the impending implosion of the Blackpool Combat Club is upon us. That's right. Tough call, folks. I know you guys were all wondering, like, how could I even think that? Like, how could I think the BCC would, they just got together. Truth is, we never see them together. When do we ever really see that group united on front of, like, we're going to kick somebody's ass, especially after Blood and Guts paper? They've been all their separate ways. They've got tension between other people. You've got Moxley fighting a whole faction literally by himself with William Regal in his corner. You've got Bryan Danielson fighting 2/3 of a faction by himself. You've got Claudio fighting 1/3 of that faction by himself. You've got Jimmy Wheeler Yuta fighting his faction in that other faction by himself. It's like, I'm thinking, bros, it's coming to an end. In Full Gear, it might be it. It just might be a wrap. Why do I think that? William Regal turning on Moxley. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's speculating on it. Will Tony Khan make it happen? Who knows? I personally don't think that needs to happen, but the way the internet and everyone seems to be speculating, Regal's going to turn on Mox. He's going to side with MJF, and that'll give Moxley the spark he needs. He's out the loop. Claudio, who knows what's going on with Claudio, man? We were just happy to have him here. It's like, hey, we're just happy to have you, buddy. Danielson, if he doesn't win the ROH title, he's going to die trying. he doesn't win that, he's going to win the pure title because he's going to be an integral part of Death Before Dishonor. And Wheeler Yuta is going to end up fighting Bryan Danielson at some point because he's just going to be sick of this shit. He's going to be sick of his infatuation with Daniel Garcia and Jericho and how he should be, right underneath Danielson. And I just have a feeling that the Blackpool Combat Club is coming to an end rather soon. I'd be very surprised if they made it to next summer.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm pretty close in what I'm thinking is going to happen to what you just said. Like, let's play it out. William Regal turns, aligns with MJF, so the lead is gone. Then you have Mox. I think this is when you're going to get the break that Mox is supposed to have before All Out. So he's going to be off TV for a little bit, so he goes away. I think Yuta and Claudio stick together. Maybe not as a tag team, but watching each other's back loosely. I'll go do my thing, you go do your thing, but we kind of look out for each other. I think Danielson is a heel. He turns heel, but he does win the ROH title, he wins an ROH title, whether it be the main belt or the pure championship. He's gonna do it as a heel, and he's gonna do it by himself. And then you're gonna see Yuta, like you mentioned, they've been having friction, so you're gonna see that finally paid off. Claudio somehow is going to be in the mix, have some fire matches with Danielson. But I think Danielson finally does get the belt, the ROH championship belt. Now that I think about it, makes a lot of sense for him to finally get it. He's the guy that can be, because he's that good, he can be an asshole and be in hell, but still beat you within the rules and then talk shit about you. So that makes you hate him more. He doesn't have to cheat to win. He doesn't have to have outside interference.
The planet's champion.
Yeah, exactly. Like he doesn't need all of the shenanigans to beat you and have you hate him. He's just too good. But yeah, I think it definitely does break down. Like, I'm not sure what the initial plan, if any plan at all, there was for the Blackpool Combat Club, because it seemed like when it was first talked about, when Mox and Bryan Danielson first linked up, it was like, we're gonna grab a bunch of these young wrestlers and mold them and teach them how to be violent. And once we got Wheeler Yuta, it seemed like it stopped there. Claudio came in. He's not a young guy that needs to be taught anything. He's been around. So it seemed like once Claudio was added, it was like the original idea of what we thought the Blackpool Combat Club was supposed to be kind of went to the side. So maybe it just served its purpose already, and it makes sense for it to not be a long-term thing. Maybe it's fine. And if nothing else, it definitely made Wheeler Yuta. He's somebody who we were not talking about before. We didn't buy into him having a mean streak, having any reason to be on TV.
Even being with
all of a sudden,
nothing.
Exactly. Exactly. He'd have been one of them guys. He'd have been another comedy character. But he's a legitimate contender now for any title as long as you put him in a program and write it correctly. So if that was all the Blackpool Combat Club did as far as getting somebody in position to matter, then it's a success. So yeah, maybe it is time for it to kind of everybody go their own path, and we'll see where everybody lands. But Danielson's definitely coming out of this a heel for sure. I think Mox is going away for a little bit. Yuta and Claudio probably stick together.
Where I actually agree with you, Chad, because I kind of did see some things going on there. Like I'm seeing Regal come out with Moxley more than anybody else. I see conflict between Danielson and Yuta the other day. And Claudio, he's had some decent matches after he lost the ROH title, but he's not really doing too much. So I don't know when there'll be a demise, but I know there will be. There might be one somewhere in the near future, and I feel like it kind of started after they were trying to get I think the storyline with Danielson and Garcia, when Garcia kind of turned on him, it kind of went sideways. They kind of started going downhill from there. Something like, and they just started having those conflicts within the
There's no team unity on anything that they do. One person will get assaulted, and the rest of them are nowhere to be found.
I was about to say,
word.
Somebody gets jumped in the ring, and your crew is in the back doing what? Like we was talking in the chat I don't remember what episode this was, but Mox had a match earlier. Another member of the Blackpool Combat Club was getting jumped, either by, backstage in the ring, whatever the case was, and Mox was like, fuck it. I already had my match. You gotta take care of yourself.
Yeah.
But you're supposed to be part of the crew, and you're the champ.
Right. So where's the unity?
Your
You know
crew
what
is
I'm
nowhere
saying?
to be found, and everybody's always getting attacked in the Blackpool Combat Club, and everybody seems to want to come out to a delayed reaction or wait till their theme music hits. So it's just like it's really intriguing to me how this faction stays a faction even going into 2023.
Can't even call it, man. Can't call it. But
I kind of have a different take, I guess. I try not to be a contrarian, but just because I feel like I've already mentioned this before. I don't see like a disbanding of the Blackpool Combat Club, so to speak. I do see like a shake up there. I think that's the nature of it. I think Regal's mentioned it before. When you have a bunch of guys that get pleasure out of kicking the shit out of other people, they're gonna butt heads and like kick the shit out of each other. It's just gonna happen. And I feel like that's kind of the nature of it. I think that this is like the real brawling brutes, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, even though the brawling brutes are fire and they beat the shit out of people too, I feel like this is like another like offshoot of that. Like, it's like this is what that is. I do believe, in my honest opinion, that because there's a lot going on, and I think Tony, as much as we give him shit, I think he does multitask really well. So I feel like the Blackpool Combat Club, although that doesn't make sense to take them completely away from AEW because there's just too much connection with the fans there. There's a lot of draw there. There might be some people that fuck with AEW that aren't going to fuck with ROH. But I do think that we're going to see the Blackpool Combat Club on ROH a lot more. Moxley is going to take a break. I feel like Moxley is going to get his vacation like he wanted to. And when he comes back, he's coming back to Danielson as the ROH champion. He's coming back to the Blackpool Combat Club kind of holding shit down over there. I feel like we're going to see them on AEW, but not as much as we used to. I think ROH is going to get a real big shot in the arm, and that shot in the arm might be, like I said, maybe Nick Aldis and all this other shit going on. That's just my take on that. But I don't really even remember what the original take was that Chad was talking about because I'm smoking this Samson shit from the Smokers Club. That's fucking amazing.
I was just gonna go off of what you said, really, in the sense.
Yeah.
I almost feel like Regal is gonna take the Blackpool Combat Club over and put MJF in it. Just call me crazy. Take Moxley out, put MJF in, and cause the friction.
Shameless self-promotion.
I gotta think about that.
MJF.
That'll be very interesting.
MJF in the Blackpool Combat Club and Moxley's out.
You mean just like how they did the Inner Circle?
Just like that. It's a mutiny. And
Yo, if we get
That
if
makes
we
me
if we
think,
get it
like,
if we get a John Moxley MJF dinner debonair part 2, I'm gonna fucking throw up.
yo, Mox in a dinner debonair is nasty. He have
not
to go
above it.
off TV. He does that shit, bro.
Yeah. Whoever made the point about Moxley taking a vacation, yeah, he definitely does that because he was supposed to do that before. So yeah, definitely be a good chance for him.
Man
to do
deserves it. He came off a fucking
he's due.
crazy rehab stint and started performing immediately. He definitely deserves a vacation. Yo, he's probably stressed the fuck out.
Like, yo, Roman gets to wrestle how many times a month? Nah, man.
Word. Words. Somebody who talked to somebody about
Yo,
something.
how funny would it be that it ain't Mox that's picking the match to bleed and it's really Tony. It's like, nah, you're bleeding tonight. Like, again, bro. Like,
Yo, and you know what? Shouts out to Mox. Did
so
you hear him
tired of
on the
this.
most recent program actually dropping he's a multi-millionaire? You don't ever
Oh,
hear
that was
Mox flex.
that was a quick flex.
Yeah,
That was a quick flex by our boy Moxley. He just let him know real quick. You know what I mean? I
Yo,
got
he's
bread,
alright with
bro.
his money too. He don't spend money on
Word.
shit.
Yeah,
He's
Nah.
got Wranglers on,
Yeah,
bro.
he drives a Chevy
Word.
truck and, you know what I'm saying, just lives in fucking Vegas, man. It's just like,
Word.
That book money just came in too. So
And when you actually love your wife, you know, some people know about that. You know, me and my wife love
hey.
each other. You know what I mean? Ayo, you know what I'm saying? But when you actually love your wife, that's pretty dope that you get to work with her too. She's traveling with you, bro. You got the kid with you. That's fire, bro. Life is so they definitely deserve a vacation. I think it's pretty dope. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
it's a 2-income household now.
that's
You know what I'm
They
saying?
just they
Yeah,
just
that
they
is a
just trying
fact.
to they're just trying to make it.
Till the baby monetizes its YouTube. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get our son there too. We're grooming him. You feel me? Get the fuck out of here if you think we're not.
I get a
Nah, I'm
kid.
just kidding.
I get a kid another 6-7 months coming off the top rope. I could see
Nah,
Mox
word.
just swinging him by the ankles.
You see Mox bringing his kid to the ring.
Nah, they got a
crazy
baby girl.
finisher.
She's gonna be a badass. Watch.
Nah, it's a barbed wire baby. He's gonna wrap the
Word.
kid in barbed wire, smack somebody with it.
Word.
Nah, MJ.
That's dope.
MJF when he starts to take pot shots at the kid when they have to do the rubber match. Oh man.
Damn.
Nah, that's when Mox goes off script and stabs him on camera, bro.
That's crazy.
Just like your little daughter.
Yo.
Yeah,
So I got an
Jesus.
exit survey for us guys.
What it do?
You know, everybody's talking about The Rock coming back. I don't know if you've been paying attention to programming lately, but The Rock is already back in the form of LA Knight. And
Yeah.
Damn,
No.
man.
LA Knight
Let me talk to you.
LA Knight
Yeah.
cannot for some reason leave The Rock alone. God bless him, but he can't do it. And you know, I tried to shoot him some bail. Mark Henry, I heard one time mention that this man, he just couldn't get away from it. And I didn't see it, but maybe it's because I didn't see the programming enough. And this has nothing to do really with LA Knight. By the way, my exit survey, this is just fun to talk about. But no, it does have to do with Bray Wyatt, though. That segment between him and Bray Wyatt was pretty fucking dope. And I thought it was really cool to see them share the screen together and have that interaction together. Aside from the Rock little rip-off shit that he does, really, really cool segment. So my exit survey is, I think we've all seen what's really to come with Bray versus Bray, which I think is going to be the underlying feud throughout everything going on here, right? Moving forward. But aside from LA Knight, because he was there, who do we think we're going to see Bray versus next? Throw it to AO first.
Damn, on the spit it out. On the spot. Bray versus Eli Drake. Excuse me, LA Knight.
Yeah.
Is right now.
Max Dupree, if you nasty.
LA Knight.
I don't know. Like, I personally would like to see. I'd like to see Bray go full circle with a returning Randy Orton at some point to get the revenge. Just to put a nail in that coffin. I don't want to see but it makes sense for the story though, because that's
For those who are not
basic.
watching and are just listening, Chad just had an aneurysm live on set.
with a tear in my eye.
Chad, will
Nah,
be
just
all right.
just for the full circle. Just for the full circle. I'd like to see that.
He's fine, by the
I'd
way.
honestly, more than anything, I'd like to see Bo Dallas come back and somehow feud with Bray. Somehow that makes sense. Yeah, bring him back.
Yeah, honestly, I'm thinking about it now. I can't call it. I will say this. I like the fact that they're keeping this going even after the fact that they revealed that it was Bray Wyatt. You know, when he came back, like they're keeping this whole.
There's
story
codes everywhere,
going.
bro. There's shit everywhere.
Right.
There's storylines everywhere. Alexa Bliss getting interrupted. Everybody's getting interrupted.
And that's what I love, because they just didn't bring him back. They still have him. They're still doing stuff with him to build him up to whoever his next opponent is going to be. So as of right now, I can't even call it right now.
I got
Yeah.
one.
All right. Yes.
Edge. He retires Edge. It'd be nice. It'd be a nice little back and forth where you get Edge back in his brood mode. Dark Edge, violent Edge, gothic Edge. But somehow he falls to Bray Wyatt.
Do you see the
I
crazy
feel like
in
that.
Bray Wyatt's eye when he was in that promo with LA Knight though? Like his
Oh, he's
side
nuts.
profile when he was looking at him, he looks like a
He's nuts.
complete lunatic. I'm gonna put it in the edit. There's like a side by side where I feel like him and the Roadrunner. If you like, I'm gonna show you exactly what I'm talking about. He looks fucking nuts, bro. Like literally crazy. It might even be Wile E. Coyote. I'm not sure who it is right now. I'm too high for this, but I promise you, it's one of those cartoon characters. He looks fucking crazy. I can't wait to see what's gonna happen here. Yeah.
I would say, what's the initial question?
Okay, so basically, we see Bray Wyatt, LA Knight. The underlying theme we see is going to be Bray Wyatt versus Bray Wyatt, all these different iterations of Bray Wyatt. But throughout that, who's his next victim, let's say?
Is it
Or
is it-
signee, whatever he's
is,
doing.
Is it a Wyatt 6 or is it an opponent?
I don't know if he's if he's squatting up or if he's fighting people. But whatever's next in line after Eli, Max, L.A., Dupree, Knight.
Basically, what he's going to be
Drake.
doing going into WrestleMania season, essentially. Just Eli.
Ooh,
got me saying
I just
Eli.
got chills thinking
Yeah.
about his entrance, yo. His entrance at WrestleMania is going to be crazy. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
This LA Knight thing is.
If
gonna
you can't
be
tell,
a
I'm a
while.
Bray Wyatt fan, guys. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
super
Sorry.
heavy. Bray Wyatt mark. It's gonna be a while. This Eli Drake thing. Can't be saying Eli Drake. LA Knight. This LA Knight thing is gonna be. It's gonna hold us over through the next couple of weeks. Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, Fastlane, Saudi Arabia, then WrestleMania. You know how many pay-per-views they have in between WrestleMania. I think we're going to get
Kane.
No, I think he's going to go after Drew McIntyre.
I like it.
Although he's a face right now, although he is a baby face right now. So who actually?
I would love to see Dark Drew though. Dark Drew would be kind of dope.
He's a baby face and he's being positioned as one. So who is a heel that he can attack outside of Roman Reigns? Gunther? That's not happening anytime soon. You know what? He's just going to be going on along with like the Eli Drakes, the Santos Escobars. I think he's just going to be taking on a lot of the new guys.
What about Braun?
They could throw him into that, but he's on Raw. He's on Raw.
I may have somebody now. It might be a stretch. I want to say Kevin Owens, possibly. Kevin Owens. I feel like Kevin Owens is going to go off the cuff and say, "Oh, he's doing all this spooky shit. What's your problem doing?" You know how Kevin Owens is.
And he can flip flop. He can flip flop.
Right. I can see that. Because, and I think they can have an incredible fight.
Where is he? Is he off right now? What is going on with Kevin Owens? He's on break.
He hasn't been on, but I think he's gonna be thrown into that bloodline, that War Games match because it's 4-on-5 right now.
True.
You got Brawling Brutes and you got McIntyre, so I think Kevin Owens is gonna be the other dude. But
that'll be fire.
Yeah, I think you're right, Charlie. He's gonna be like in these small feuds. It's not going to be anything super, super, super major for a little bit. And it's the problem with the SmackDown and Raw thing, but an interesting combination would be some kind of matchup with somebody from Judgment Day, whether that be Finn or Punishment Martin. Fuck his name.
Damian Priest.
Damian Priest. I was thinking that too.
That was where the Fiend started. The Fiend started there, so Finn could probably want to just be like, "Hey, got a bone to pick with you."
Yeah, it could be something like that. There's still like that lingering possible superstar shakeup at some point, so that actually could be a reality. But yeah, I'd like to see him retire Edge. Get him the fuck out of here. Thank you for your time, Adam.
Oh man, my man said no Edge.
I don't know about you guys, but I was preoccupied last week, and I'm really disappointed in myself because I forgot to say, go fuck yourself, San Diego. And that was a great opportunity to say it now. I know this is episode 14. I have no idea what the name's going to be. But I know I'm not the mid-card title holder. So I'm going to sleep great tonight. I don't know about anybody else. But, the champ is here.
Keep it warm, because it'll be gone this Saturday.
I've been Blame Boogie. For the rest of these guys, we're getting the fuck out of here.
It's the kid, Ringside Club.
Man.
We gone, y'all.
Buy our shit.